The terrorist attacks in Brussels on Tuesday raising lots of questions about security and threats, but bigger picture, an attack in a European capital popular with tourists underscores the importance of knowing what to do in the case of an emergency when you are traveling. Our expert Loren Christie is here with some tips should you ever, unfortunately, find yourself in this kind of situation. So what's the number one thing people should do, Loren?
Well, I mean, basically, what you should do is know what you can't do. So one of the things, a lot of people look to the airlines and say, what is the airline going to cover for me? Shouldn't they take care of me? First of all, they're not really in charge of finding you a hotel room.
They're not.
If you're stranded. That's not part of their deal because it's a situation that's out of their control. The other thing, people often think, well, they'll rebook me home, right? Technically, they don't have to. However, that being said, in this case in particular, and cases that are similar to it, the airlines, they do what's right, and they do, make sure that you can get home. And usually it varies from airline to airline, but, in this case, all of the global or many of the global airlines, including Air Canada, are waiving rebooking fees in terms of, change fees or recalculated fares because you're going on a different flight. But what you need to remember is that, you're going to get on the next available plane, and that might not leave for a few days. So you will be stuck. And there is a possibility of that happening.
In the case of Brussels, Zaventem Airport closed for now anyway,
exactly.
So of course that's an issue. Okay, what about the embassy, reaching out to the Canadian embassy?
Well, the embassy in times like this, so they have to prioritize what they look after. And so their number one priority when something this goes down is, are there Canadians killed? Are there Canadians injured? So that's what they're focusing on. Then they have to focus on their own staff and looking after. And again, in this case, Brussels actually has 3 embassies. They have the NATO, the EU, and the Belgian Canadian embassy to Belgium.
Right,
so they're busy with other things. Now, that being said, if there's an issue with needing medication or treatment, they'll help you in the city, but they're not really after their job is not to get people who are okay to get home. It's really up to you, the traveler, to take care of yourself and get yourself home unless there's an extreme circumstance that you need some help with.
If the plans go awry because of this, whatever the situation might be, is there any insurance that covers this kind of stuff?
Yeah, I mean, actually, believe it or not, there's a terrorism clause that is part of most standard travel insurance. Okay. And that terrorism clause, basically what it covers is it's part of trip interruption, which is pretty standard in travel insurance, and it basically picks up where everything else leaves off. So meaning, if an airplane is or an air flight is going to take you home, and you need extra costs for hotels, for example, they may pick up that slack. But there's always caveats, and there's a few things you should look at. So I'll give you 2 examples just to explain. So if you are, you want to fly home and Air Canada can't fly you home for 5 days, and you go, no, I got to get home tomorrow for a birthday party. I think I'll just book myself on United and fly home. That isn't covered. You have to exhaust all other avenues first.
Right.
Also, you say, I'm stuck for 3 days. I'm going to book myself into a hotel. Well, you might want to check the policy. They may give you a per diem. They may say, we'll only give you $100 per night. So booking yourself into the Ritz may not be the best idea. So there is terrorism clause coverage. It will help you. It will try and, make sure that it mitigates some of the cost to you, but it may not be as all-inclusive as you want. So make sure you read your policy.
There's just this psychology as well. You're in like a foreign land, foreign city. This kind of thing happens. You're scared. You want to reach out to family. That's also an issue too, right? Just to keep in mind.
Absolutely. But, one of those things, again, it is scary for the people that are traveling, but also bear in mind there's other people that are in more distress than you, most likely. But again, if there is a serious distress issue there, whether it's, I have to get home, I have a medical treatment, those are the type of things you could reach out to the embassy with, and they could help you.
Great to have you on, Loren.
Thanks.
Especially this week. Loren's blog on emergency travel tips can be found up on our website, canadaam.ctvnews.ca.